welcome to In the Kitchen with Mary Mac. Today we're going to talk about pickle relish. Everyone loves pickle relish, don't they? Well, you would if you ate this pickle relish. It's very good. We are going to talk about two different recipes, a recipe for dill pickle relish and a recipe for sweet pickle relish. You could probably, maybe if you listen carefully in the background, hear the pop of jars sealing. I just canned 10 pints of dill pickle relish, which is what this recipe makes that I'm going to give you. 10 pints. It's the first time I've ever made it, but I was looking for a recipe for dill pickle relish because we really like it. It's really good on hamburgers, sandwiches, anything you need a dill pickle on. And the nice thing about it is, and this actually happened to me at a restaurant this week, I was eating a sandwich and the dill pickle that was aboard my sandwich shot out the end of it and went like 3 feet and over under the table. So it was kind of a humorous. Actually, I would have laughed if it was a business lunch, so I didn't want to laugh. But inside, I was just dying laughing because I could see the pickle and it just made me laugh. But that doesn't happen with dill pickle relish because it's all chopped up in little bits and it stays there, It just, doesn't have that shape that can shoot out of your sandwich and take off on its own. And this was actually pretty easy to make. It's very basic, nice basic recipe, pretty easy to make. And then I'm going to tell you a sweet pickle relish recipe, which I've used for ages, and that comes out of the Ball Blue Book. The Ball Blue Book is a guideline. It's a recipe book and an instructional book that teaches you how to can fruits and vegetables. It's very handy. It has a lot of recipes in it, but it also has full page step-by-step with pictures and instructions and things like that, so that it's teaching you how to can, and then it has recipes you can use too. So that's where this sweet pickle relish recipe comes from, and it's really good. And I've actually had people who don't even like pickle relish tell me how good it is. And this is good. I mean, it's good on a hot dog. It's good on a sandwich, like a turkey sandwich. Very good on turkey sandwich. It's good to use if you're making chicken salad or tuna salad. Put the pickle relish in. It's very, very good, very flavorful, very easy to make also. So even if you don't have a garden, people are always, me anyway, people are always giving me vegetables. And one of the vegetables that I'm always given is cucumbers that are way too big for anyone else to do anything with.
And an absurd number of them.
Yes, they're the size of a chihuahua, these ones that I had. I mean, they're big. They were so big. So I thought, and of course I'm getting ready to go on vacation, so what else would I do but make pickle relish right before I'm going on vacation? Great idea. So this is what I do, and this is it allows you to not waste, because you don't want to waste things just because they're too big. And they're not bad tasting, but they're just enormous cucumbers. So you split your cucumbers open and you scrape the seeds out of the inside. They come out so easily. You can use a paring knife and just cut around them, or a big spoon and run down them. But you take the seeds out of the middle, so you have what looks like two cucumber canoes, I guess you would say. And that's what we're going to use to make our pickle relish, just that. You don't need the seeds and that watery filling that's around the seeds. You don't need that at all. And I actually like it better without that in there, especially on an older vegetable like that, because the seeds tend to get a tough shell on them. So just, like I said, scrape that out, put that in your compost. We're not going to use that. And I had 2 of the plastic shopping bags full of cucumbers. So one bag was abnormally large cucumbers, and the other one was abnormally shaped cucumbers. They all looked like, they were skinny on one end and fat on the other. They were the weirdest looking cucumbers, so I used them, because you're going to chop them up anyway. So I did the same thing. I went through all of the cucumbers, and I removed the seeds. And then I cut them up into about 1-inch chunks or so, and I chopped them up in my food processor. I cut the cucumbers up into 1-inch chunks, and I chopped them up in my food processor with a regular blade. So you don't want to process them too much, but kind of like pulse them a couple times so that they're chopped up. And I have pictures. I'll have pictures up, but they make a nice little chopped piece of cucumber. They're not dust, but you don't want them to be too little. but you want to chop them up. And what I did was I chopped up all the cucumbers that I had, because by doing the amount that I had, I was able to make both recipes at the same time. You don't have to do that, but I just figured I'd go through and measure and see what I got out of those, and I ended up having enough to do them. So for the sweet pickle recipe, it takes a little bit longer time-wise. It's not hard or anything. It takes a little bit longer, but you'll need 4 cups of chopped up cucumbers, and then you're also going to have to chop up some other things. You're going to need 2 cups of chopped up onions, which is very hard on the eyes, believe me. I was like half blind as I was trying to put them into the bowl. You need 1 cup of chopped green pepper and 1 cup of chopped sweet red pepper. Now, it's a little early for red peppers here seasonally, so I did not use a red pepper because I couldn't find one anywhere except for these ones that were, I would call them cherry bombs. There were little tiny bright red hot peppers that looked terrifyingly hot, so I did not get those. So I just used the green pepper and left the red pepper out. So that's what you need: 4 cups of chopped cucumbers, 2 cups of chopped onions, 1 cup of chopped green pepper, 1 cup of chopped red pepper if you have it. And then you're going to put those together in a bowl, and you're going to sprinkle 1/4 cup of canning salt on them. Now, canning salt is, you could also use kosher salt, kind of the same thing, but what canning salt is it's a salt that's not iodized. So that's what you want to use: canning salt or kosher salt. So you're going to sprinkle 1/4 cup of salt over top of those chopped vegetables, stir it in, and then you're going to put water into the bowl that they're in, just to kind of where they're floating, and you're going to let that sit for about 2 hours, because you want to take all of the moisture out of those chopped vegetables, because we're going to drain them before we add them to the brine that we're making, and then the vegetables just soak up all the brine. So it's kind of an odd thing, but that's what we're going to do. So anyway, you got that. You put the 1/4 cup of salt on, cover with water, cold water, and you're going to let that set for about 2 hours. Now, the brine is going to be 3½ cups of regular sugar, 2 cups of cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon of celery seed, and 1 tablespoon of mustard seed. So when the time comes, you're going to take those chopped vegetables and you're going to drain all the liquid out of them that you can get out of it. And it's nice to use a sieve, a very fine screen sieve, and I put them in there and I kind of toss them around and press on them and do whatever it takes until very little liquid is running out of them. In the meantime, before I start to drain them, I combine my sugar, vinegar, and spices, and I have them in a pot, and I'm heating that up, because what we want to do is bring those to a boil and then put in those drained vegetables. So if you have that brine ready on the stove and heating, ready to come to a boil when you're about ready to drain your vegetables, it works out perfectly. Drain your vegetables, put them right into the brine, and what you want to do is the boil is just going to kind of stop when you put the vegetables in. You're going to turn your heat down, and you're going to let that simmer for 10 minutes. So you're going to have the chopped up vegetables simmering in your brine. And you're going to pack that into hot jars. And I use pint jars. You could use half pints, little jars, whatever you want to do. You're going to pack that into jars and put a lid and ring on, like you're canning. And you'll process it 10 minutes in a boiling water bath. I'm going to put this whole recipe up. If you've never canned before, and if you're afraid of canning, you can still make this relish. And this is how you do it. You take that relish and you put it into jars and put the lids on it, let them cool, and keep that in your refrigerator. It's going to make about 4 pints of relish, and if you don't mind keeping that in your refrigerator, it's not going to go bad. A lot of people are afraid of canning and they're very nervous about it. But if you want to try something like this and you're a little leery, is it worthwhile? Do I want to get into all this canning stuff? That's a good thing to do. You keep it in your refrigerator and try it out, see how you like it. And it'll keep in there for, oh my goodness, it'll keep for a long time, because it is sort of canned in that jar because it's hot itself, and it's also in your refrigerator. So you'll be able to see this recipe on our website. I'll make sure that we have that up there. And I'll also have pictures on our Facebook page, so you'll be able to take a look at things and see what they look like, what the chopped vegetables look like and everything. Now for the dill relish. You've already got your chopped cucumbers instructions and all that. So the dill relish it made 10 pints, like I said. 10 pints, exactly. was crazy. It took 14 cups of chopped up cucumbers. So I did, like I said, I had those whale-sized cucumbers and, I had enough. 2 cups of chopped bell pepper, and you're going to mix those two together and just set them aside. Now, in a pot, you're going to bring to a boil. There goes another jar sealed. In a pot, you're going to bring to a boil 5.5 cups of cider vinegar, 3 teaspoons of dill seed, just regular dried dill seed, it said 6 cloves of garlic. What I used was 6 cloves of minced garlic, and I had canned bottled garlic that I keep in my refrigerator, so I used 6 teaspoons of minced garlic. Instead of 6 whole cloves, I used 6 teaspoons of minced garlic. And then 5 tablespoons of canning salt. And you're going to mix the cider vinegar, dill seed, garlic, and canning salt together and heat to a boil. And then you're going to add your chopped cucumber and bell pepper mixture to that. And just let that simmer again for 10 minutes. And then you're going to pack that into jars, just like I said with the other one. You pack it into heated jars, put the lid on it, put the ring on it, seal it, and then put that in a canning water bath for 10 minutes. And again, if you don't want to do the water bath canning, you can do the same thing as the other one. You can put the lid and ring on, and let it cool, and then store that in your refrigerator. But 10 pints is a lot to store in your refrigerator. So I would encourage you to give the canning a try. It's not hard. It's not hard to do at all. And you can actually, rather than buy a canner, you can use a regular cooking pan if you have a metal screen to put in the bottom to hold your jars off the bottom. I'm going to have pictures of those items up also, so we'll make sure that we have good instructions for this. And what's really cool is this recipe that I got for the Dill Pickle Relish came from a website. It's nchfp.uga.edu, and what it is, it's the National Center for Home Food Preservation that's put together by the University of Georgia. And you can go to this website. This is a good website, actually. It has a lot of good information, and I'm sure it'll answer any question that you would have. So that's a good thing to check out. You should also check out the Ball Blue book. That can be purchased probably from Amazon. I think you can get it from Amazon, but definitely if you go to the Ball Canning Jar website, you'd be able to find it. And it's a great resource. Like I said, it has a lot of recipes. And one of the things that's nice about the Ball Blue book is it has small batch recipes. So let's say you want to make jam, but you don't want to make 10 gallons of jam. It has jam recipes that make about 2 pints. It has jam recipes, jelly recipes, all sorts of fruit and vegetable recipes, just all kinds of different things. And it's really like I said, a good resource. So I hope you give these relishes a try.
And don't forget to check us out online on Facebook and Instagram at Mary Mac Bakehouse, Twitter at Mary Mac Mixes, and our website is marymacpodcast.com.
Yeah, and if you go to Mary Mac Bakehouse on Facebook, I have some videos up there. I've been doing this vanilla project that I call How to Save Money by Making Your Own Vanilla, in which I haven't saved a dime. I've actually spent about $210. But I've got all this vanilla. So I'm using vanilla like currency now. It's like Bitcoin, sort of. So you can go to my Facebook page, Mary Mac Bakehouse, and check out what I'm doing there. And I always post a lot of pictures on there and stuff. So our store will be open, Standing Chimney. It's located in New Galilee, just outside of Newcastle, Pennsylvania, in Lawrence County. And we'll be open the first Saturday of September. We're going to have all kinds of really great things for fall. You might want to mark your calendars for September 21st from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. We're going to have our delicious pulled pork Sundays that we have every year on the first day of fall. And we're going to be having bluegrass music by Mike and Lauren. So you might want to stop out for that. It's a lot of fun. Good food, good fun, good music, good times. So stop out to Standing Chimney and see us. Check out Standing Chimney on Facebook, Instagram, and our website, standingchimney.com. Thanks a lot for listening if you did. If you didn't, too bad for you.